Hello everybody, I am Tom and you are watching me play Disco Elysium. In today's episode, we're going to finally get the body down by the look of things. So we talked to Everett Clare in the last episode, and I'm going to see if I can get in here. And he told us that, well, a few things actually. Mainly he alluded to a lot of things. One, we know that our name is Harry Dubois, so that's something I suppose. But he alluded to the fact that he has a bunch of information about the hanging, and he will do so if we go and unlock a door. So specifically, he's trying to intimidate someone and give them the impression that he has the police in his pocket, which he very well might do.
Cargo container. Its drawer has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly.
I get +1 from erratic yet thorough, and +1 for being in the world for just 2 days. Sure, let's try and...
Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric?
Because getting physical wasn't an option.
Because what wasn't an option?
Using my body over my wits.
Now is not the time to get philosophical, detective. You can do that after hours.
Alright then. I like the fact that it does let you try that. So last episode, randomly my rhetoric was just like, why don't you just try persuading the door to open? So I did. I tried. Game? There are some weird kind of angles you have to hit in this when you're doing, when you go, like, going upstairs and things. Like, sometimes you have to hit left when I would think you hit up, or vice versa.
The file cabinet stands steady as ever. Sliding out, a drawer presents you the folders you already went through. On top of them is the handwritten note.
Take another look at the note.
Remember, Leo, Everart's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everart's plants, sweep office floor, more banners.
Special whirling borscht.
All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is crumpled. The drawer slides shut smoothly.
Interesting. We can get out now, though. Before I do, what's this? A phone, by the look of it. Or a punch-in.
The already familiar cold touch of plastic welcomes you as you pick up the handset.
Okay, let's give it a shot. I could level up my interfacing here. Right? Sure, let's do it. I mean, I potentially could have tried it first, but yeah, that's a 72% chance now.
Your fingers run over the dial pad. 005. That's the dialing code for Revachol. 4952, and a moment of hesitation before entering the final numbers. 993. Calling. Calling. Still calling. Then.
Video Revachol, 24-hour video rental. You rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lamy. How may I help you?
The voice of a youngster on the other end sounds as enthusiastic as that of a man walking towards the gallows.
That's very sad. A man who's lost his memory and he kind of just lets his muscle memory take over for phoning, and he calls a 24-hour video rental. I mean, maybe it's a random number, but it's also possible that all I do is watch movies in my free time because I have no one else in my life. What is this place?
Video Revachol is a 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lamy.
Do you know me?
No.
No, I meant, what is this place to me?
Sir, I don't know. It's a video rental. Maybe you rent videos here.
Why did I call you?
Maybe you called to extend your rental period? Do you need to extend your rental period?
My name is Harry Dubois. Do you have anything on my name?
Let me fire up the machine. Dubois. Dubois. Here we are. You haven't rented anything in 5 years, but you still have a copy of Blue Ocean Hell from November 46. Whoa, not a fun film, that one.
What kind of film is that?
It's not an easy watch. After the death of his daughter and subsequent divorce, Ziemsk immigrant Egidius Wojcik tries to come to terms with the onset of dementia.
Oddly prescient, I suppose.
No wonder no one's been missing it. Still, it would be great if you could return it to us. We're on the corner of Voyager and Main.
The call is terminated by the other party. You're left with the discomforting sound of the disconnect tone.
Interesting. Very interesting. Cool, so we got out. So we can talk to Measurehead. Let's go do that, shall we?
The unpromising race pupil returns.
Everett told you to help us get the body down from the tree.
So it was. You surmounted the harbor wall in a display of athletic prowess to reach my superior. Then had him give me an order. I salute your cunning, and I will remove the body from the tree with my bare hands.
You're so noble, Measurehead.
There's a but.
But while I am gone, someone must stand guard on the bridge. That someone needs to be you. Both of you.
Lieutenant, what if we don't want to do that?
This is the uncomfortable result of not taking it down ourselves. I can live with a compromise.
Listen to your little friend. He is wise in his childlike
God damn it.
way. His mysterious race may yet prove fierce competition to my heroic haplogroup.
That's intriguing to me. He's taking an individual, and because the individual is doing something that he approves of, he's saying maybe there is hope for their race. That is a weird perception to have as a racist. Or at the very least a rare one. Okay then.
Babe, see that they stay here the whole time.
That was impressive, Measurehead.
The woman's gaze follows Measurehead as he leaves.
So, you guys are like cops or something?
Apparently so.
Cool. I like men with guns and power. I'm Katya, by the way.
You hear that? That sound. He's breaking something.
Yeah, Jean-Luc must be really tearing it up over there. I wish I could see it.
I wonder if he's just ripping the tree out of the ground. I could believe he could do it. The man's like 30 feet tall. I also wish I could see it.
Look at you! RCM rent-a-cops! Guarding that bridge like Everett's lapdogs! Is this where it's at now? The RCM is for sale!
Spoken by a mercenary, pretending to be a worker.
I'll work with whoever I want. It's right to work, is it not?
A shrill laughter interrupts you, echoing across Martinez. It's Kuno. Then, the man turns to look behind him at the behemoth appearing around the corner, approaching him, walking past him.
The corpse has been removed from the tree. Stand down and congratulate yourself. You have sided with Ray's victory today.
Thank you for your cooperation, Measurehead.
Farewell, ham sandwich. You are a Union man from now on.
Not really. But I got the tree down, which is all I really cared about. While we go down here, let's talk to you.
So, how'd you like our harbor?
You've been in there, he means. Talked to the boss man too, probably.
It was nice enough.
It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains. Right. You talk to the boss, eye to eye, like men of the plain. If you have any more questions, I'm set to talk.
Any idea who killed the hangman?
The mercenary, eh? Who could have killed him? That's indeed the question. Why even do such a thing?
The Merc was hanging with a very specific type of cargo belt, one often used in heavy transport areas, for example, harbors.
What a thought. Why would noble workers resort to such a thing? Unless they were pushed, of course.
Pushed how?
Your dead guy was an enemy combatant.
What does that mean?
He was an agent of the opposition, attempting to undermine our honorable efforts.
Did you kill him?
I ain't the murdering type, but that's just me. Large organizations like our union have all sorts of men, with all sorts of skills.
He's not lying about not doing it himself.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's not lying about saying that. He's effectively telling us the other union people did it, right?
Understood. This has been of limited use. Still, thank you.
No problem. I wish the best to you in your search. Sure, I'm glad it's not my search.
Everard said you had a key to a door.
A key, huh? What door is this key supposed to open?
I don't know, some whistleblower, I think.
Oh, say no more. I got you. I got that key right here. And let me tell you, it's mighty good of you to help us out during the strike. Working class solidarity, as they say.
I'm not really doing this for political reasons.
Oh, so the none of the above type, are you? I get it. I like to keep my distance too. But it doesn't matter. It's a good thing you're doing. Thanks. What you're looking for is a basement door behind the greenhouse. That's behind the wailing in rags. That's all I know. Our organization is what you call compartmentalized. Means we keep out of each other's business.
It means you shirk culpability is what it
Okay,
means.
Where did you get the key from?
The janitor gave it to me. Nice fella. We talked about life and things that really, truly matter. None of this mess we're in. This jiving and juggling. What's it for? To feed our children, I guess.
Anything else I should know about this task? This weasel person? When he'll be home?
I'm more of a philosophical dock worker. I like to talk about the big picture stuff. Who I am, who you are, what we are fighting for.
He means he's not going to tell you cause he doesn't know. But he will shoot his mouth off with you now that you're working for Everard.
You know anything about the Hardy Boys?
Los Ardis? They're an independent militant group. A bit too high-strung, but it comes with the responsibility. They're sort of like you. Preserve the rule of law and all that. Except it's Everard's law. But really, they're just like you.
Why are you striking?
We're negotiating our share.
Your share?
Aye.
How large a share would you like?
All of it. However, right now we want all the harbor workers to be on the company's board, so they could take part in the decision-making process.
This seditious talk sounds like communism. Just so we're on the same page, communism is basically wanting to kill the rich people or deporting them to a labor camp in southeast Grad. But don't say that out loud if you're a communist.
I mean, not entirely wrong. Although I believe this person is probably a utopian believer in communism. The boss man, Everard, what can you tell me about him?
I think it's best you make up your own mind now that you've met him. In my eyes, he is a capable organizer and a decent businessman.
What does bossing the union entail anyway?
I guess you kind of get to be the village chief. He oversees the harbor, makes deals with the owners or other relevant parties, watches out for his own.
By that, you mean corruption?
By heavens, why would he not be corrupt? We live in a harsh and disordered world, see? And in this world, the old man is corrupt for our benefit, and we know it. Appreciate it even. He is, personally, not too lavish.
The deaths seem lavish to me.
He is reasonably lavish, sure. That's his prerogative. It's not like you want a saintly demeanor on a corrupt motherfucker. That would be a manipulative illusion.
Some interesting mental gymnastics here for him to, yeah,
Besides,
okay.
there are no non-corrupt systems in the world anyway. And moralism is the most corrupt of them all.
I mean, arguably true.
This man has political theory, and it has not failed him today.
Indeed, yeah. I was gonna say, I think he has some weird thoughts, but I think in unto themselves, like they're in a closed system that they are in, they're logically consistent. Are you a communist?
No. I don't think I'm a communist. Seeing something of value and saying I want it all to myself is a much older and simpler notion. No science to it at all.
Oh, interesting.
Even a weak child can think it. The only things holding someone back are I can't and I shouldn't.
You shouldn't take what's not yours.
Then how can anything ever be mine? But that's okay. We don't have to agree. The prairie is wide enough for all of us.
You seem to have spent a lot of time thinking about the political situation.
Sure, I've had the necessary free time. Fortunately, there's always time.
The look in his brown eyes conjures up an understanding. For him, having command of his time is the most important thing.
Interesting.
It all comes together now. The way he speaks about scabs, his general attitude. He's a follower of a 500-year-old Franco-Nigerian Boyadero code, itself an appropriation of Vespertine cool. That of a noble peasant or a traveling herdsman. True to yourself, independent in your actions, loyal to your friends.
Maybe I am a boydero.
No.
I could...
No. The man sits on the railing, his hands reaching far and wide, yet it feels as if he could effortlessly go even wider, if need be. An endless torrent of time.
Interesting. Good talking to you, you gotta run.
What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate, political opinions somewhere in Martinez.
This is because I keep saying none of the above to political stuff, isn't it?
It's also, but it's also more. Perhaps it's the hangover. Perhaps it's a temporary surge of serotonin. But something tells you it's time to become a citizen of the Kingdom of Conscience.
Where is this Kingdom of Conscience?
It is not a place. It is a moment in time that can only arise in the right circumstances. In all of human history, it's only been achieved a handful of times.
How do you bring about these circumstances?
Incrementally. History's greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make the world a better place. Too quickly.
Probably true. I would say that is likely true, yeah.
That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real, lasting change can only come about gradually, increment by increment.
What about all the things that are wrong now?
Tisk tisk. Just because you live in the present doesn't mean you have the right to place your needs above the needs of the future. You may never live to see the Kingdom of Conscience. Your children may not. Even your grandchildren might not. But that's no excuse not to keep working. What rationality?
Is the Kingdom of Conscience really about doing things or just preserving the status quo?
Do you believe the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed?
Yes.
There you have it. Sometimes holding the line is progress.
Okay, but what is the Kingdom of Conscience actually like?
The kingdom is difficult to comprehend, and even more difficult to describe, partly because humanity will need to discard many of the categories that define and limit it today. The Kingdom of Conscience is post-capitalist, post-national. It's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post sexual.
Interesting. I'm kind of with it until the last section, right? Like the idea, because this actually, up until like this paragraph right here, it kind of describes my own political thinking a lot of the time. I'm relatively conservative in that I think there's a lot of things that should... I mean, I'm talking about like social policy here. As far as economic policy, I'm just straight up, you could call me a conservative. But for like social policy, I generally believe in progress, but sustainable progress, if that makes any sense. Like the idea of like, gay marriage is a good example, right? Something that's come through in my lifetime. It's something that I believe should exist, but as far as a policy for it existing, it needs to come out of a majority vote, right? Because it needs to be something that the entire community itself believes in, and then you enact it, right? Because doing so means that there's less ostracization, there's less... You get people out of prejudice before enforcing a law, because if you enforce the law while there is still a majority prejudice, all that does is push the prejudice further, you know what I mean? So doing things like gradually but more steadily and more stably is generally my way of doing things, right? But I've never really thought about the logical conclusion of that, which is what this is talking about now, right? Which is interesting because partly, like, reading this, partly because humanity will need to discard many of the categories that define it and limit it today, the Kingdom of Conscious is post-capitalist, post-national. It's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post-sexual. Interestingly, this is an ideology, right? So you're saying it's post-ideological, but that very sentiment is ideological. Fuck it, this is interesting. Allons-y, let's go there right now.
Slow down, Mr. Reasonable. Did you miss the part about compromising and taking things slow?
Alright, then let's get there eventually.
That's right. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for Revachol. When that real democracy kicks in, a long time from now, we are all going to be so much happier.
Yeah, I mean, it's like... I don't exactly know how to describe it, but to me it sounds very much like... It's not conservatism, it's different. And I think it's probably pretty close to what my beliefs are. It's very interesting. It's weird. In any case, we're like 25 minutes in. I'm going to look at the body next episode, I think, so we're going to leave it here for now. So, if you like this video, please leave a like. If you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing. And as always, thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.